welcome back to Smash Factor. This is Andy Fish, PGA Professional, and I'm joined here with Kevin Kramp, Head Professional, Hidden Glen Golf Club, right?
That's correct, sir.
All right, so
glad to be back.
How's it going here? We got the the fall, non-existent,
fall, yeah.
But here in Wisconsin,
I think it's still fall, actually.
Technically
it is, right? For another month.
Well, I love the online stuff that you guys had going. The first time I've ever seen the lines blown out with snow.
Yes,
that is in my career.
It's the first time Garrett has ever done that in his career, having to blow out the lines in snow.
Yeah, yes. So we got a little early snow cover, but this is the season for traveling.
It is.
And you just got back from Ireland, correct?
Yes, fabulous trip with 11 members. Very fortunate to get over there and to Southwest Ireland to play some golf and just enjoy the whole culture and beautiful scenery and wonderful people, and just a fabulous trip.
Yeah, I'd love to get into that a little bit more, but what about the logistics of that? Is it difficult, or is it becoming easier? I know you've done a few trips, but is this your first
one overseas?
First overseas?
Yeah,
okay.
First one's overseas. Actually, this particular one of the members kind of took it by the reins and set everything up, so it was really, really nice.
Oh, that's great, yeah.
Usually we're the ones doing that.
Yeah.
It was a perfectly arranged trip with 5 rounds of golf, 6 nights. Just well planned. A lot of driving to those golf courses. I think you've been over to Ireland, so there's definitely more driving there,
right? Yeah.
Than you will at some of the stateside area resorts,
right?
Because it's not really a resort. You're going from town to town to play different courses, and you kind of set up a base in one city or one village, and then move on. But just a fabulous. I mean, every golf course we played, we thought was better than the next. And
what part of Ireland did you do? Northern, southern,
southwest.
Southwest.
Yeah. So we played Lahinch, we played Old Head, Ballybunion, and the other ones they're escaping my mind right now.
Well, they'll probably come up as we get going.
Tralee was another one.
But there's a lot of things. I've been over there a few times, and I've had different levels. I've never done 12, so that's a big group.
It was, but I think the big key, what I'd say to people is have a driver. I mean, the driver
makes the trip.
Makes the trip. The camaraderie on that trip, where if we'd have had 3 vans, someone would have been upset driving in 2 small lanes on the opposite side of the road. Where we had a bus driver. He took care of everything, and it was fabulous. And just a way to go.
Yeah, when you have a great driver that kind of thinks, oh, hey, you guys really like this kind of water. I can grab some water, fill up the fridge for you.
A lot of different types of waters on that bus.
But they do.
They do.
They
take care of everything.
All the difference.
Everything. Yeah. It was fabulous.
Well, that's great. So the courses you played, well, first of all, so for a lot of people that haven't been over there, so a trip like that has to be pretty solid organized. I mean,
yes.
It shouldn't feel that way necessarily to the member that's over there. That it's they want to feel comfort in the organization. They want to know 2 days from now they're playing this at this time. But for the most part, you're just you have to make sure everything's kind of dialed in really tight. The games. What games do you play?
We had team games and individual. So we did individual skins every day. We had different.
Somebody wins something after every round.
Yeah, you're going to win something.
Yeah.
Except one guy who's, I think his handicap went up as fast as his weight did on that trip. But that's a whole other story. But we had a skins game and we had foursome games. So we just played to try to keep it simple. 2 best ball of 4. We did a quota point game for the entire week, individual. It was just good because you kept everyone in the game. I mean, quota point was really everyone was in it except for maybe one guy in going into that last round. So it was fun.
Okay.
Good time.
Yeah. So Lahinch, I love that course.
Fabulous.
Yeah. I played it in 40-mile-an-hour winds one time, and
that was
it was
the
beautiful.
same. That was the same when we got it.
Okay.
When we got on the tee, I remember saying to the caddy, they moved us up, and he goes, I go, well, I'm just going to try to break 80 today. He goes, good luck with that. And it was some of the hardest golf you've ever played, just because of how windy it was, and just it never let up.
And that's kind of the big thing, right? So a lot of people, first of all, what you're not usually prepared for is walking,
right?
So much,
right?
And I think the average player from the States isn't prepared for. You hit a bad shot and it's gone.
Correct.
Unless the caddy's really
unless the caddy's really
finds
good.
another ball that happens to be yours.
It happened to be yours. Yeah, exactly. They were, and we had in that day. It was near the end of their season because it was early October, so it was near the end of their season. They're winding down, at least the caddy season, and we just happened to catch a day where we landed in Ireland the same time Hurricane Lorenzo was blowing through.
Okay.
So we were delayed, got there, and really there were still effects of it that whole time we were there. But that last round, it was particularly windy and cool, and but it was well worth it. Playing that golf course is beautiful, just fabulous.
Yes.
I mean, every one of those holes was a good golf hole.
Yeah, and then Old Head. Oh, what did you think about that? Did you stay at Old Head or did you stay off?
No, we stayed in Killarney the first 3 nights.
Nice.
And then we drove to those places. And again, I would say I wasn't looking forward to the drives, but the drives were some of the most fun part of the trip besides the golf because of someone else driving.
Yeah.
And just relaxing, chilling,
giving
talking.
Some grief.
It's just, exactly. A certain playlist playing each time.
Yeah.
It was fun. But Old Head, it was probably the only 9 holes or 11 holes that were the worst conditions I've played in.
Oh.
So I didn't get to see. Funny, I saw on their Instagram account hole number 2. I'm like, oh, that's what it looks like right around the water. Because 1 through 9, you really couldn't see much. It was foggy and rainy and a little windy.
Oh, that's too bad.
And once we got to 10, 11's a par 3, and the caddies from the groups ahead of us said, we're not taking you any further because it was that bad. It was that foggy.
Oh,
and
really?
You really couldn't see anything. And we got to the point where we get on 12th tee, and the one guys are like, hey, the caddies like, we're skipping 12, 13, 14. We're going to pick up 15 and play on in. And the guys are like, no, we're going to wait it out. And it started to lift a little bit, so the guys took off. And I'm so glad we waited it out because those holes are fabulous.
It's gorgeous.
And it's unbelievable.
For people that haven't been there, it's, I don't know, if it's 100 feet down to the ocean on some of the holes, it might as well be a mile.
Yeah. 300 feet,
down.
300 foot
down.
drop. Yeah, it's just, but it's beautiful. I mean,
Absolutely
the holes
gorgeous.
are well thought out around there. One of them, definitely probably the most scenic holes or scenic golf courses I've ever played, for sure. And just a really, really great experience, despite the weather in those first holes. If you look at the pictures at the end, people say, "Oh, you had a great day of weather." I'm like, "Well, you didn't see the ones from the first 9 because you couldn't pull out your phone to take any pictures because it was that bad." But still, just and I thought what I really enjoyed about the golf over there is it's so playable.
Right. Yeah, Old Head's a little bit more, I don't want to say Americanized, but it's a little bit more resortish, right?
Correct. And we were surprised to see how low on the rankings in Ireland Old Head was, where everyone would have probably put that up to the top because of how beautiful it was.
Right.
But rankings-wise, golf course, you could kind of see that, afterwards.
You're not going to lose the same amount of balls as you would like Lahinch. Lahinch, you could go through.
Yes, especially with the way that one was
sleeves
long.
of balls.
It was basically
easily.
hit it and let her go.
Yeah.
I think they had the Irish Open there. Isn't that where they had the Irish Open?
I think so, yeah.
This year, yeah.
That's so I had the same experience, and then they have a helicopter pad at Old Head. They have fine dining.
Yeah. The food there was fabulous.
A golf shop that has now all the golf shops over there seem to have a pretty good assortment of product, I would say.
And high-end product.
High-end product.
Yeah, high-end product. They definitely they have great outerwear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what the spend was from our guys, but it had to be pretty decent. They came back with a lot of logos, from head covers to ball markers to T-shirts to rain gear. I mean, a little bit of everything.
And that's kind of a tip too. So if you aren't sure about the weather, don't worry about it too much. You'll be able to pick something up. I think I've had to pick something up every time I've been over there.
For sure.
For sure. A stocking.
I think
weatherproof stocking cap.
Old Head ran out of bucket hats that day. That was about it. But otherwise, yes, you're right. Everything they have it much more readily than in the States, for sure.
Nice. And then what are some other courses that you got to play?
Loved Waterville was the one I couldn't remember, and loved
I love Waterville.
Loved it.
Now they redid the clubhouse and stuff.
Beautiful.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually did eat dinner there. It was fabulous. And again, just the people, the service, the caddies. We had multiple clubs where our caddies were members.
Yes.
At the clubs, which is awesome. I mean, it's just, and they're younger, probably in their upper 20s, low 30s, and they do this. That pays for their membership and gives them a bunch of money so they can play, and they just want to play.
Yeah,
they're just there to play, and it's. I think that was really cool, and that was our second round of golf Waterville, and that was a real good way to spend the day. And beautiful, just links style golf course, true links right by the seaside. It was awesome.
Seaside, strong finish on that course.
Yeah, very strong. 18's a great hole.
Yeah,
great golf hole.
Payne Stewart statue.
Yeah, Payne Stewart statue that's still there. Yeah. I believe they just finished up a 2-day pro-am when we had gotten there, so the golf course was in fabulous shape. But I mean, I stress the playability of all these. Yeah, you might get the wind and the rain and the conditions. You're going to deal with some of that, but really for the 5 rounds, we probably had 9 holes of rain, and that's pretty good, to go over there.
That's really good. And would you suggest, I know that, expectations of people, they want to go over there and they want to have a great time, they want to play well. Expectations to say, hey, you're going to shoot 10, 15 shots higher, just enjoy it.
Yes. I think that's the biggest thing. And that's why you kind of stressed the quota point we did was net double max.
That's awesome.
And we didn't have anyone hired in I think 17 or 18 handicap, but just pick it up and move. It's okay. Just to have fun and keep it moving. And they loved, the caddies loved us that last day at La Hinch. Like, it wasn't the best weather, but you guys move along. Yeah. And they appreciate that, where some guys are grinding out for a score, and it's really just go have fun with it. Go play and enjoy where you're at, and have a Guinness or a whiskey and just enjoy the company you're with.
Well, then you've been out to Bandon.
I heard you just got back.
Just got back from Bandon. We played every course except for the newest one. We just took a little walk out there and a little tour at the sheep ranch, but the rest of it
looks to be special.
Yeah. What do you think about? Personally, Bandon in the States destination has got to be. If it's not top, it's one of my top.
I would agree with you. If it's not top, I have not been to Pebble, so I can't say that. But Bandon, I've been there twice. Our guys want to go back right as soon as the sheep ranch was announced. They want to book for next year, and I'm telling them to wait. Let's go 2021. Let's let it settle in a little bit.
Yeah, I think sheep ranch opens in June. What they told us when we were out there.
And every golf course is fabulous. Just the idea of being there with the putting course, with the preserve, the 3-hole, the par 3.
Oh, the par 3 was fantastic.
It's awesome.
Well, and it's really cool because you're right there. You got the par 3, and then is it Trails that comes off of that?
Yeah, Trails is right there.
And then Bandon Trails, the golf course, the big courses around it, and then the clubhouse is really cool out there. Each clubhouse has a personality,
yes,
and actually a separate menu,
yes,
with a specialty or two at each place. I can't think of a place that's more golf centric. It's just the player that loves to play golf. You're going to play 36. I heard a stat when I was out there. If they're fully booked, every room's booked, it's only half booked on the tee sheet.
That's awesome. So you can get back around.
Yeah. Emergency 9.
Yeah.
Get out there and play some more. Play 36 every day. So the replays, we played 36, except for the day we played the par 3 course, and then we played Trails after it.
Yeah. Trails is great.
I love Trails.
It's one of the I think the lowest.
How would you rate them? Right. Now they're all world-class golf courses.
Right.
They're all phenomenal.
If I had to rate my favorites, I would probably go. It's a great question. I loved, I'd say Pack Dunes or Old McDonald as 1 and 2. And it could go either way depending on the wind.
Yep.
But Old McDonald's something like you've never played. At least I've never experienced anything
until
like
you
that.
went to
Until I went to Ireland. Yeah. I mean, really, that was the first thing. That was obviously the closest after playing over there.
Yeah.
And then I'd put a close, again, Bandon Dunes and Bandon Trails, probably close 3-4. It could flip either way. I mean, I think Bandon Dunes is a great one to play as your first golf course there. That's how they set us up when we went. You kind of walk over, I think it's fourth hole or wherever that you get to, and the caddy says, okay, get your cameras out.
Right.
And all of a sudden, boom, you're hit with a beautiful scene. Just some good holes, very playable, and then Trails is different than all the others.
Yeah, they each have a character. It's going to be fun for somebody. You're not going to lose many golf balls around there. No. You're just going to have a great time. And then there's great restaurants, great food,
fabulous.
The services over the charts. I mean, the whole thing is absolutely phenomenal, top to bottom.
Right. I think actually the most fun was probably the par 3.
Yeah.
I'd say it's the most fun. Not the best, but
Now,
those
did you play it in the
threes,
evening or in the morning?
We played it in the second round, not the first. So the second round, there were a few beers floating around,
right,
for sure. I mean,
a few bets,
a few bets.
Beers,
putting on that last hole, taking a putt out.
Yeah.
Taking your putter, hitting it once with a wedge, once with a putter. I mean, that's just it's fun stuff, and it makes you realize why you play the game.
Right.
That was all strictly for games and fun. No one knows what they shot there. No idea. No. But they know.
Yeah, we just played skins.
Yeah, they just had a skin. Yeah. I had a skin here. We had a skin here. You putted it from there. It's more that story than it is anything else.
And then the punch bowl with all the putts and everything.
Yes, another fabulous. Right outside is that Pacific Grill, I think it is, or yeah.
Yeah, so and I would highly suggest that, just because at the end of the day, you don't want to play maybe some more holes or something, but you just want to have maybe a couple drinks and go out and play. And it is absolutely great to watch people think that they're inventing a new putt.
Yes.
And then it ends up 75 yards away from the hole they were trying to hit it to.
Right.
It is probably, I never laughed so hard. We had 8-10 guys out there, and we were laughing the whole time. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Well, and I think you can see what courses around here have done to draw from those different top end places. What Aaron Hills did with adding the putting, and what Sand Valley did with the 17 hole par 3.
Sure.
And you can play it with a putter.
Yeah.
And a canoe full of beers. You have to do that. And that's what makes a golf trip special. Is it's not only just that 18 hole round of golf, but it's that extra stuff that these places do to keep you involved. It's stuff we would do during a member guest to keep people involved, or things during the normal week to keep our members involved.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I mean, Wisconsin, this is pretty great in the summer. I know we're down to about 90 days we can play golf here.
Yeah.
But in the summertime, that spring, summer, fall, we have these wonderful places that we can just take that weekend overnight. I mean, that's Kaiser's Place, Sand Valley, up in Stevens Point area, right?
Yes, he seems to have it figured out. He's doing okay.
He's got the methodology down.
He's doing just fine.
Put a golf course on sand.
Yes.
Make it
playable for everyone,
and super dramatic. So you take your camera out every other hole.
Every other hole, the camera's out.
Yeah, it's. I've really enjoyed my couple times up at Sand Valley too. But
yeah, I've only been there once. I don't know if I told you in our story. We did go to Cabot Links, also his property there, and we actually were eating dinner across from Kaiser, and he came to our table. Or we two of our members bought him a bottle of wine, and he came to our table to thank us. And we told him we were from Wisconsin. He said, "Boys, I hope you played Sand Valley before you came all the way out here." Right. And we're like, "Yep, we've been to all of them now." And he's like, "Well, we got something else working for you." And that's when he recently announced Cabot St. Lucia.
Yeah.
That'll be in 2021 or whatever. So, I mean, clearly he's got the right idea. And again, I think you've been there, and for where golf needs to go, all of these places are playable. They're playable for any level. I mean, really, you can play it. You can, if you don't hit it that far off the tee, you can run it down the fairways. They're firm. The fairways are humongous up at Sand Valley.
Yep.
And Mammoth Dunes is wider.
You might get frustrated at your score, which I'd say on my other podcast you shouldn't, but that's a whole mental psychology thing. Right. But you will not get frustrated looking for balls.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I think it's kind of a pride thing if you can go around a golf course and say you didn't lose one.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty big deal. You can go around, and you might hit that shot on the abandoned courses into the ocean.
Yeah.
You might hit that one, but it's at least something you can remember with how scenic that hole was, or beautiful it was. And really, it's still playable, because most of those you can bounce a ball up to the green, where a lot of the golf courses that were, late 90s, early 2000s, you can't do that.
Yeah, and that's kind of the way it's changing a little bit. You kind of have the home courses, the older courses. The equipment's kind of pushing those to the limits a little bit, but I'd still say that most people are having a great time on those.
Yes, they are.
But for a big trip where you get to, I mean, if you're traveling every day and you're eating big dinners and you're going to bed late maybe, and you're getting up and doing it again on trips in Ireland, or let's say you're doing that at Bandon, the last thing you want to do is just absolutely grind it out on a golf course that just beats you up all day.
No, right. You hit it spot on. I mean,
And that's not to say that it's easy to score on. That's not what we're saying.
No, not at all. Because
big fairways, big greens.
Yep. And
if you're in the wrong spot, you're putting a few times.
Yeah, right. And you're putting you have different shots than you normally would have.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing is like you said, having the right attitude when you go on these trips. You're probably not going to fire a career low round, with all those other factors you mentioned, and then take into consideration you're playing a great golf course.
That's why I like how you kind of set it up with the games. You have one good day at one course, and everybody kind of pats you on the back.
Yeah,
get a couple dollars. That's a fun time.
Get some money, make some money back, and just remember stuff.
But you don't have to grind out an 8 or a 9 either. No. You can just pick it up.
No, and a few of those places, how it was blowing when we got to La Hinch or Ballybunion the first day when we were there. Yeah. I mean, it could have been a double, triple train for a while for some guys just because it got so tough with the conditions. But, that's part of it.
So you'd highly suggest Ireland for sure?
I would for sure. Yeah. I would definitely for sure. I know for my first experience overseas, it was fabulous. Everything went very smoothly. Like I said, the people over there, the culture, was nice to sit in a pub at night and not have 20 TVs on, where you could talk and enjoy some drinks and some great food and just really enjoy the company you're with.
Yeah. Well, thanks. We're going to wrap this one up on travel.
Awesome.
A little bit, keep it short for everybody. And then let's just do another one on kind of the tech that we're going to be doing that we see coming up the pipe here a little bit. We'll do a short one on the tech that you see coming for next season.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks. This is Kevin Kramp was joining me with head pro at Hidden Glen Golf Club, and I'm Andy Fish. And thanks for listening to Smash Factor.